missed the medal in the 400 metres. It was quite surprising. See what you mean behind a right knee. Here we go. Lewis was up quickly, free from the bottom. So Gartrell at the top, then Claudia Pohl, Henker of Germany behind them a little. Lane 4, Evans out quickly. Ping Lu of China, one of the favourites in lane 5. Hayley Lewis of Australia, 3 from the bottom. Brooke Bennett, the 14-year-old from America, in lane 7. Irene Dalby of Norway in lane number 8.
Now, really, this event is wide open. Anybody can win it. Michael Piper wants Hayley Lewis to go out very, very hard. She's got to find a rhythm, but he doesn't want to have to come from behind.
They make the first turn. Lewis looks as if she's right up there with Claudia Pohl.
We know Lewis is tough. We know that she finishes well in all her events, and she's a confident swimmer, so if she can be out there at the 400, well, then she's a big chance for the finish.
Well, she's leading. Hayley Lewis is in front in the first 100 metres of this 800-metre final. Janet Evans of the United States in lane 4. Jana Henker of Germany in lane 3. Ping Lu back a bit, China in lane number 5, and Stacey Gartrell. They make the turn. Hayley Lewis 61.01, leads Janet Evans 61.46. Stacey Gartrell was 62.31.
Now, Hayley, obviously, she's doing what Michael Piper says just perfectly. She's out nice and hard. She's got a lovely stroke when she finds the rhythm, Hayley. She's very high in the shoulders. Her head is perfect, is positioned perfectly. And she's keeping her kicks nice and even now because she's going to have to save a couple of 6 beats first there throughout the race later.
Janet Evans pressurising Hayley Lewis. She'll know the Lewis form very well. They've been competitors against one another for such a long time. And they're going to turn practically together there. Lewis may be just touching off Evans. Claudia Pohl in lane 2, who was third in the 200 metres, third in the 400 metres. She would be in third place. Dolby going quite well of Norway in lane 8. Henker of Germany in lane 3. And a bit of a surprise here is that Ping Lu is well back at the moment from China in lane 5.
We said before, we don't know too much about it, but you can see Hayley. Hayley's looking nice and strong in this race. It's going to be a battle between her and Evans. Pohl, we're not too sure about. I mean, as we said, she's had a heavy, heavy program, but Lewis looks great.
Here's the 200-metre split, 2:04.70, and for Evans it was 2:05.16. Gartrell in 7th place, 2:07.32. Now, the outside world record place, but that 8:16 set by Janet Evans is way back in 1988, and it's very doubtful if that will be challenged here.
Hayley Lewis and Janet Evans have very similar strokes. They both swim flat and they reach forward and they put everything into every arm stroke. And they have the same kick pattern, almost identical.
Well, they've set the scene here, haven't they? The two women who have been around this event for a while, Janet Evans particularly, catch me if you can, and again, they've probably turned exactly together. Lewis may be fractionally in front. She's working well off the walls, Lewis, in this tonight, leading Evans, and they're a body length in front of Pohl, Henker, Ping Lu, and Brooke Bennett, the 14-year-old, who's second from the left. But you can see Lewis third from the left. Evans in the middle of screen has moved right up alongside Lewis, and I feel that Evans may in fact be just in front of Hayley Lewis. It'll be a touch either way. I think Janet Evans has now gone to the front for the first time in this race. We'll get them at 300. As you can see, they're wide apart. Here they go. They turn over. Yes, Evans by 9/10 of a second in front of Hayley Lewis.
Hayley got the better turn there. If she can keep her turn work up there, that could be the race. They're so close. She was very disappointed with the Commonwealth swims, but every time she hit the water at this meet, she feels she's got a little bit pressure.
Well, Evans is getting away, though. There's no question about that. Janet Evans is now half a body length in front of Hayley Lewis. And Ping Lu of China starting to come through with Henker of Germany. Here's the next turn. And Evans by nearly 3/4 of a body length. She's worked magnificently, Evans, in this 100 metres. Lewis got a good turn again, cuts her back to half a body length. And Hayley Lewis is holding down the silver medal position. But Ping Lu in lane 5 is starting to come on for China.
She's slowly moving up. She's probably a great way to swim the 800 because you really do have to pace yourself. You can see Evans really throws that right arm in her stroke. It's quite unusual, but obviously she gets the result.
Lewis still going pretty strongly towards the left of screen. Stacey Gartrell of Australia is in 7th place. They're up to halfway now. When Evans broke the world record, it was a 4:07.92 split. You can see they're well behind that. 4:13.01. Lewis split 4:13.82 in second place. Gartrell was way back 7th, 4:17.88.
Hayley's not letting Evans get too far ahead of her. She certainly is working on keeping her there. If she lets her get too far out of the reach, she won't be able to catch her, but she's so tough, anybody can still win from here.
We're in the second half now of this 800-metre final. Janet Evans in screen, champion in Seoul and Barcelona. She has a tremendous record in this race. Hayley Lewis has worked very hard in this lap, holding Evans to about a body length, and Lewis still has a very comfortable margin over Ping Lu, Henker of Germany, and Bennett of the United States, a 14-year-old, going very well in the bottom of screen.
They're both still very high, both Evans and Lewis. They're going to have to start doing different bursts with their kick. I think you'll see that occasionally now, a couple of metres out from the wall, they'll pick it up a little bit to try and hit their turns as hard as they can.
Janet Evans, fifth in the 400 metres, surprisingly beaten out of the medals. Hayley Lewis was fourth. Here's the turn at 500. Evans still has a body length, goes around 5:17.16. Lewis is 1.15 seconds behind her in second place. Stacey Gartrell still seventh and certainly well and truly out of the medals.
Stacey's been feeling flat all this meet. She's surprised me. She's really a shock upset at the Commonwealth Games since she beat Hayley. But as you can see, Hayley's coming in form into this meet, and she's not letting Evans get too far ahead.
Still it's a body length and a bit, and really Evans is in the gold medal position. She set this up, gave Lewis a start early, pegged her back, and now is asserting her authority. She'll be very hard to beat. I can't remember Janet Evans being passed in a big final like this once she gets in front. But Hayley Lewis is doing her best for Australia, the 20-year-old. A body length behind Janet Evans. Hinker of Germany, Ping Lu of China, and Brooke Bennett of the United States are trying to get to Hayley Lewis. But it's Evans a body length to Lewis, and still a body length and a bit. Look at little Brooke Bennett in lane number 7, the 14-year-old, is right up alongside Ping Lu and Hinker of Germany. We go to the 600-metre mark. Let's see what the difference is. It was 1.15 on the previous lap. Has Evans increased her lead? She's 6:21.56. Lewis 6:22.91. So she's slowly but surely increasing her margin here.
Hayley has actually picked up her pace. She's gone up a full gear in this last, almost last lap. She really has lifted. She's starting to lift the kick a bit, but so is Evans. This is really going to come down to a battle of the wheels.
Well, they're both tough. We know that. Evans, 2 Olympic gold medals, a World Championship gold medal in this event. Arguably the hardest event of all for the women. Turns now. Still a body length and a half in front of Lewis. Lewis in a silver medal position, but Brooke Bennett of the United States is coming on very strongly, the 14-year-old. Only a body length behind Hayley Lewis. Ping Lu still well back, and Hinker well back. Claudia Pole well and truly out of it. There's Evans in the middle of screen. Leads Hayley Lewis towards the left. Brooke Bennett on the extreme left. In the centre, Ping Lu in lane 5 between Evans and Lewis. And to the right of Evans, as far as we look, it was Hinker of the United States. Here's the turn at 700.
Oh, Evans is hitting this well. She's lifting her kick now, but Hayley is gaining on her in every single turn.
Lewis has taken off quite a bit of ground. The margin is less than 1 second. Well, a big 100 coming up. Lewis is sprinting after Janet Evans. The Olympic champion twice from America leads Hayley Lewis of Australia and Brooke Bennett of the United States. We could still have a grandstand finish here. Lewis is eroding Evans's lead. Stroke by stroke, she's coming back to her.
She certainly... Lewis said after the Olympics that she was almost overawed by Evans, and she felt that she probably could have beaten her, and she is going for it here.
Lewis is almost alongside Evans. She's drawn level. Brooke Bennett is 8 lengths behind them. Hayley Lewis is almost stroking it with Janet Evans. She's come back quite magnificently. It'll be a grandstand finish, all right. Evans, who hasn't been passed at a major championship, finding something. Lewis coming at her. They're stroke for stroke, the 2 great ones. Evans of the United States, Lewis of Australia. It's an epic duel. Lewis is sprinting. Evans just in front. They touch it. Evans has won by 9/100ths of a second from Hayley Lewis.
That was so close. It was all in the finish. That's all it came down to. It was just that Hayley just misjudged the finish fractionally.
It was a fantastic race. A race where Lewis got the early lead. Evans took it away, was seemingly in control, and then Lewis produced a flying finish and has failed by 9/100ths of a second to take the gold medal. 8:29.85 to 8:29.94. Wait, but the top 3 in one of the most fantastic finishes. Janet Evans just holding off Hayley Lewis, and 14-year-old Brooke Bennett third.